I think that video is and photography maybe also would be the most natural medium for me because I started film and photography, so this is what I'm originally doing. But obviously I did other things. I worked a lot with installation and performance, and that's true that I went over to video at some certain point, and I guess I did this because I started to build more and more complete messages, and it's easiest if you have a big message to tell, and it's composed of small messages, and there's a lot of threads you want to use. Then it's easiest to just tell a story. It's basically, I think that the answer is I just want to tell stories, and if you want to tell stories and if you want them to be a bit complicated, then it's easiest to just use something that people will really want to watch. And this is why I started to make film, which is even for many people, by many people, is even treated more as film. If there is a division between film and video, people would be saying that I do film, not video. I guess I started studying in the film school while already working as a professional photographer. Also working with art at the same time, and then I gradually worked as a photographer less and less, and I also started to do other things, and I was involved more and more into art, and then I started using other mediums. So yeah, but I think if I look back into why I actually went to study there, I think I wanted to be a better photographer. It was actually meant to be addressing the situation of the particular institution or art institutions in general. So I'm doing it in reference to a film, which is the Lumière's brothers, the workers leaving the factory in Lyon, but I'm just using the symbol of leaving the factory in order to tell a story or comment on a particular situation that was happening in the CCA, where this thing is going on, in Warsaw, where we had it may be quite hermetic, because it's very contextual, it's very Polish, but in Poland at the particular moment, in the CCA in Warsaw, there was a director who constantly there was this conflict between the workers and employees of the CCA and the director, who had a lot of people leave the castle. The castle is how we call the CCA, because it's in the castle. So he had a lot of people leave their job, permanently or temporary, and the art world has been discussing this immensely. So I did this work as a commentary on people actually leaving their workplace, but also I wanted to show the art institution as a factory, where a lot of people would be thinking about art institutions, that these are places where artists and curators and these people dealing with culture who are not very much attached to the regular mundane life. They just daydreamers, whereas actually what's happening in the art institutions is really hard work going on, from mornings to nights. So I kind of wanted to show an art institution as an actual place of real work. This is why I did this, together with all the people leaving the building in the film, are actual true workers of the CCA at the very moment when I was doing the film. It's so interesting that you see this in this particular film, because I actually do work with the idea of understanding art and non-understanding an art, and the unprofessional perception, how people who are not educated to read art, how they actually understand it and how they see it. So it's true that I do work with these issues, but this particular film is more meant to comment on the situation in Hungary, The political situation, and also the socials. The political situation and the social activities connected to the political situation in Hungary. When I came to Hungary 2 years ago, and I was supposed to work on a project in an art institution, which was maybe the last place of freedom in art in Hungary, but the director was changed at the moment when I was about to start the work, and I thought that it maybe wouldn't be nice to position myself as a person who actually starts working with this institution at the moment when everybody is against what is happening there, and which obviously I support, so I didn't want to start working with this, but I also started to think very much about what control actually makes with us, and especially what control in art, in culture in general, can do to the art expression, how it can influence the artistic expression. And then we all from the post-communistic countries know that it can do a lot, to make the artist develop their means. So I wanted to make this very experimental approach of looking at control in art and society in general as something that can have people wake up and see things and wake up to activity,
But do you think that control and limitations can help an artist work better, or can be more intuitive?
I think limitations have you think more. I mean, I think that this is, in a way, what Fire Followers is about. It's this reflection on how do we actually behave when there's a problem going on, which we have to fight, which we have to find a solution to. I believe art is feeling better in uncomfortable positions, in uncomfortable situations, obviously. But I don't want to say, maybe we just should be happy that we are feeling better and better and the world is better and better. If it is, like in some places it's not, in some places it is. But if we live in a place which is going towards the better, maybe we lose the condition of life, maybe the condition of art, maybe the condition of art goes down because of how we live. But maybe it's good, maybe it's time for art to stop existing or just change its role, Maybe then art becomes just an ornament or something. But but then maybe we should be happy. As I said, I like telling stories, but also very often the story I want to tell is not directly told in the film. I have a story in mind, and I try to encourage or make the viewer to build the story themselves after what they've seen in my film, So they are narrative, but at the same time, I guess they're not. And I think I'm opening my video works to many different stories which you could build around what I'm showing you. Usually my films would be mosaics of the narrative films, especially this one, The Offense, and the other one, The Fire Followers, because there are also other films which are a bit different. But these two would be mosaics of images of different situations happening, which obviously have some certain sequence which I'm proposing. But in a way, I believe that if we put all these images in the shaker and shake and then put on the table again, then maybe the story will be the same, or you would have as many possibilities as you have if you see my sequence, that I have made. So in a way, I think it's not a classical storytelling. It's more something of like I'm giving you bricks which you use to build something, and you build whatever you want. And obviously I have a story which I hope you will build, but if you build a different story, I'm just happy. And there's actually another work here in the gallery, which is called The Street. It's a photographic work that I have done, and it's actually dealing with the conservation of new media art. You know, this is the video art like this is so much easier because it's a file you have in a computer. Yeah. So the museums would not have to have a physical copy. Yeah. So it's so much easier. But obviously, just a few years back, the artist would be producing DVDs, which we no longer do. We play all this displayed from digital files. Yeah. But a few years back, that artist would be using DVDs, and even I have like my first video works that are in some museum collections. The collections actually have a DVD. And obviously this is what the conservators are working on. I mean, what do you do now because it's also a physical object which the artist gave and signed, so you cannot make can make a file to put it in the archive, but this is not the actual object.